week. Today is the last lesson of our unit called Jesus the Miracle Worker. In this unit, we have learned about how Jesus calmed the storm to show that he is God. We learned about how Jesus miraculously fed a huge crowd with 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. And then last week, we learned about how Jesus walked on water. Well, today our lesson is found in 3 of the 4 Gospels. It's found in Matthew chapter 17, Mark chapter 9, and Luke chapter 9. We will also, in today's lesson, hear about 2 men from the Old Testament. We'll hear about Moses, who, if you'll remember, God spoke to through a burning bush, and he led the Israelites out of Egypt. And then we'll hear about Elijah, who was a prophet to Israel, and he went to heaven in a whirlwind. So listen carefully to our lesson to hear how these men are mentioned in our lesson. Well, one day Jesus took 3 of his disciples, James, Peter, and John, up on a high mountain to pray. The disciples fell asleep. And as Jesus was praying, his appearance changed. His face shined like the sun, and his clothes were as white as light. They were radiant and intensely white. When the disciples woke up, they saw Moses and Elijah talking to Jesus. Peter said to Jesus, "Master, is it good for us to be here? Let us make 3 tents, one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah." And as Peter was talking, a cloud appeared and covered over them. And a voice from the cloud said, "This is my beloved Son, with whom I am well pleased. Listen to him." Well, when the disciples heard this, they fell face down because they were terrified. That voice was God. Jesus walked over to them and touched them and said, "Get up, don't be afraid." When they looked up, they didn't see Moses and Elijah. They only saw Jesus there. As they came down the mountain, Jesus told them, "Don't tell anyone what you saw until the Son of Man is raised from the dead." The disciples didn't tell anyone. They did wonder what the rising from the dead meant. They asked Jesus, "Why do the scribes say that Elijah must come before the Messiah?" Well, Jesus explained that Elijah had already come. They did not recognize him as a prophet and mistreated him. Jesus said, "So the Son of Man will also suffer at their hands." The disciples then realized and understood that Jesus was talking about John the Baptist. He was the one that came before the Messiah. Jesus showed his glory to Peter, James, and John. And when they saw Jesus in his glory, they saw who Jesus really is more clearly than they ever had before. Jesus said he would die, rise from the dead, and return to heaven. And one day, Jesus will come back to earth in his glory to make all things new. Now, our big picture question for this unit has been, why did Jesus perform miracles? Jesus performed miracles to glorify God, to show that he's the Son of God, and to care for people. Our verse has been Psalms 40, verse 5. And I hope by now you've learned some phrases. If you don't know it all, you've caught on to some phrases of the verse as we've repeated it every week. So say it with me today. Psalms 40, verse 5. "You have multiplied, O Lord my God, your wondrous deeds and your thoughts toward us. None can compare to them with you. I will proclaim and tell of them, yet they are more that can be told." Psalms 40, verse 5. Boys and girls, I hope you have a great week and be a shining light wherever you go. Until next time, keep it real, Keep it Jesus.